The month of February is National African American History Month, and NASA joins the celebration and honors the contributions of African Americans to the cause of spaceflight and space exploration. Recently, my colleague Gary Jordan had a chance to talk with NASA astronaut Jeanette Epps, and he asked her what the observance of African American History Month means to her in terms of space exploration.
Well, as far as the month, it's just a month of celebrating the accomplishments and the contributions of African Americans to the United States. And so it's just a moment to reflect back and think about all the things that have happened over the decades and centuries and how many contributions have been made and to be proud of it. And hopefully other people will look at it and say, yeah, we're proud of what the contributions all the different cultures in the United States have contributed to making it a great place to live.
Honestly, and that's what makes the International Space Station so great too. It's
I
a
concur.
combination of cultures and diverse thoughts.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about you. How'd you end up here?
Well, I was one of those kids who never thought I'd be selected to be an astronaut, but I did want to become an aerospace engineer. So when that little seed was planted in my brain when I was 9 years old, it stuck with me. So through the years, I went to school, undergraduate for physics, and then on to graduate school for aerospace engineering. And to kind of further my knowledge of engineering and to apply it to different places, I went to the Ford Motor Company. And while I was working there, I was recruited to work at the Central Intelligence Agency as a technical operations officer. And while I was working there, some of the operational things that I was doing, as well as the very technical scientific things, kind of made me think, well, maybe it's time to apply to the astronaut corps. A friend of mine, Leland Melvin, actually gave me a call and said, they're looking for applicants. You may want to think about applying. And so I did, and lo and behold, here I am. In 2009, I was selected, and it's been 6.5 years here, 6.5 great years of a lot of training and a lot of good stuff. Less than 2 weeks ago, I returned from language immersion, and that was 5 weeks in Moscow, living in a hotel, doing classes, and fending for myself in Russian. And that was a great experience. I would love to do it again. It's just time is of the essence. It was an amazing thing to do, and to have the time set aside to actually go and learn a language, priceless. Because as we get older and older, work takes over, and you don't have the time. But this is my job, so it's kind of cool thing to have done. So over the years, I've done robotics training, I've done spacewalk training, I've done T-38 training, ISS systems training, and I've even got the chance to do a couple of fun things like Nemo, one of the Nemo missions. That was a great deal of fun. Spent 9 days underwater. I even had the chance to do geology training in Hawaii.
So tell us about the impacts of space exploration, where you see it going in the coming years.
Well, I think since we've done a lot of work in low Earth orbit, and I think there's a huge push amongst enthusiasts to go to Mars. So I think the next steps will be taking those baby steps to get us to Mars. They're not baby steps, but because we've done a lot of work in low Earth orbit, what's the next thing? We have to develop systems, um, radiation protection systems, even waste management systems to get us all the way to Mars and to sustain us in Mars. Do we want to take that much logistics with us just to get to Mars? So in the meantime, we want to develop the propulsion systems and other things like that that'll help get us there faster, logistics there faster, just tons of different things we have to do in the meantime. But a lot of the research that we're doing right now on the ISS lends to that. So with the 1 year mission with Scott Kelly, we're learning a ton of things about the human body and how we can sustain life without gravity, our bones, our muscles, even down to the cellular level. So there's a lot of things that we're learning now that will all be applied to space exploration. And because there's a lot of enthusiasts out there, and STEM is a big part of this whole thing. We're pushing the boundaries, and there's a lot of people getting involved in STEM because of the space program. So we're pushing the boundaries to get us out to Mars and beyond. So there's a lot of great things happening now.
And we are working every day towards the goal of getting to Mars. the Mars mission, we are hoping to get there in the 2030s, and that means that kids in school right now may be selected to be astronauts, to be the first person to put their boot print on Mars. So tell us a little bit about what kids should be studying right now in order to be an astronaut in the future for Mars.
Well, I think developing an analytical brain and developing the thought process, you have to take science in school, mathematics as well. And these classes, even though they're tough, doesn't mean that you don't try them. Anything that you don't know is hard. So once you learn it, it becomes a lot easier. So just getting into any kind of physics, biology, chemistry class, and even any mathematics class makes you a better thinker. Even learning a language helps you to become a better thinker. So getting involved in these classes that are have in the past students have thought, oh, they're so hard, I'm not going to take those classes. And getting over this fear of something that's hard and not wanting to learn it is a big thing. So I think once you learn something, you realize it's not as hard as you thought. But taking the time to learn it, that's all it is. Putting the time in to learn these tough classes, to move the United States and the world beyond low Earth orbit to get us to Mars. So take those tough classes, do the tough thing, and don't be afraid to take a challenge.
An excellent piece of advice, and having that diverse skill set is something that we need here at NASA. Dr. Jeanette Epps, thank you for being with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Dr. Jeanette Epps of the United States Astronaut Corps.